it's Alicia Power here. Welcome to this Q&A. One of you have sent a question in to me and just asking a very, very important question, and I felt to answer it here. The questioner was asking, how can I trust that a spirit being in the spirit world is from the light? And part of that question was, can shadow energy influence my thoughts from the worlds of spirit? So let's dive into this question. I think it's a very important question for everybody listening and everybody watching this. So I'm just going to tune in with my own spirit tutors. So immediately they would like to share that it's extremely important to be aware that there are a multitude of different kinds of species and beings in the spirit world. Just like if you look around the genetic species on planet Earth, there are millions. And they're saying, very similar in the spirit world, there are many types of spirit beings. And there is a gradient, like a grey, up to the light, grey in the sense of gradient going down in terms of shadow. So, yes, there are beings of spirit who have shadow, and some are worse than others, if you like. So it is very, very important when reaching into the spirit world, wanting to connect with a spirit guide, to have on board tools and skills in that moment for you to gauge and assess for yourself that you are safe and that you are in fact connecting with and dialoguing with and communing with someone, because spirit beings are real, that you're communing with someone who is of the light and of the love, where you can feel safe and you can ask them questions and guidance and overview and indeed healing. So that moment where you're, especially in the early stages when you're beginning, because as you, and I've been working with the spirit world for 25 years, dialoguing clearly and working with it as a teacher and a healer. So if you spend quite a lot of time working with the beings of spirit in the spirit worlds, you quite quickly build, you could say, a BS detector, a feeling inside of yourself that something's not quite right, whether it's your solar plexus or just instantly knowing, that something isn't quite right. And you learn to follow immediately that feeling and to check, to make an assessment, to do something about it and take a look and use some tools to take a look. So I'm just saying that when you're starting, and it's that very first moment of wanting to connect and genuinely and sincerely wanting to ask a question, wanting help, wanting healing. So this is a moment near those early times when you're just learning how to work with the spirit world, that it is super important to trust your instincts. That's number one. And your instincts may not show up as a physical sensation of a solar plexus tightening or anything like that. It just might be a feeling of uncertainty or a slight feeling uncomfortable. So that's quite vague. That's not a definite anything. And yet I'd like to say to you, follow that. So if there's any uncertainty, any feeling of discomfort, follow that and check. Now, a couple of ways to check is the beautiful thing about the worlds of spirit is that in the energy worlds, energy usually can't disguise itself. And that's the reason why you get a tweak in your solar plexus. In the worlds of energy, everything can be seen. And my motto is that I work with spirit helpers to do a lot of the seeing for me. Okay, so now, really experienced, 25 years on, if I'm a little uncertain about the energy of a spirit being, my very first thing is going to be, I'm going to grab one of my close buddies in the spirit world that I've worked with a lot, and I get them to take a look at who it is, at this being that I'm looking at for whatever reason. And my buddy will relay to me everything about this, about this person. They'll just instantly just tell me anything I need to know. However, if you're just starting out, you may not have that luxury. And so here's a couple of tools, really important to everybody, just to have these on board. So the thing I want to say is that, and many of you have already heard this one, so you're calling out to meet a spirit guide, for example, and a being shows up. You might not see them clearly, but you might just sense them. And it's in that moment that it's very, very important to say, are you of the light and are you of the love? So what you've done is you've commanded them to tell you what frequency are they at. You've commanded that. Are you of the light and are you of the love? And so when you shoot an intention, direct an intention towards, in the quantum worlds, in the energy worlds, in the spirit worlds, towards a spirit being, they have to respond to you. This is why when you're working with spirit guides and you shoot a question to them, they have to send you the answer back. It's just how the quantum worlds work. And so if this being that you're checking out is not 100% of light and love, something will reveal itself to you. So you're standing there, you're sensing them in front of you, and you shoot that question, are you from the light and the love? And the next moment is an important moment, is for you to stop thinking, dive below your thoughts, and just notice what starts to happen. Because what may happen is that being feels caught out, the spotlight is on them because you've asked them a very direct question. They have to respond, and sometimes they just slink away because they don't want to reveal the truth that they may not be of the light and the love. So they might just leave. Or they may reveal to you that they do have a bit of shadow in them. And you've got the right in that moment to say, goodbye, I command you to leave. Can you hear how I'm talking where you're in the power? You've got the right to say what you want to happen. Spirit beings are not more smart than you are. They're not higher or lower than you. What I mean by that is, you don't have to think that they're gods or make them something that they're not. We're all on the same level, and they're excellent consultants and support team, and their life's work, if you like, is to look after you and support you. So just a quick background there, the way to work with spirit guides is to just have them on board as your helpers and your support team and your lovers of your soul, and they love you deeply. And what I'm saying is, don't make them above you. And so similar when you're just dealing with any spirit being that shows up and you're wanting to check their spirit credentials, you can just simply tell them to go. And they'll go. Can you hear how it's just quite clear? Like you're in warrior clarity. So that's one. Let's look at another one. So another one is you can pretend and turn on your inner imagination and imagine, because you're in a moment where you've called on a beautiful spirit being, but you're uncertain. So imagine there's a door and you both step through the door into a chamber of light. That's what you're imagining. And then you turn around and look at this being. And in that chamber of light, that being will show up. Sometimes you will see a metaphor. There might be a snake on the ground, or whatever the metaphor is, it'll be unique to you. And that metaphor will reveal the truth of the energy of that spirit being. So there's two lovely, very powerful and very useful tools for you to use in that moment of making an assessment and checking for yourself, which is very, very important, whether that being is appropriate for you to connect with, or whether they have too much shadow. Now the second part of the question is, can shadow and from the spirit world interfere with or control or work with my thoughts and my feelings? And absolutely. So I just quickly want to say from an extensive training in working with shadow, with me, with my spirit teachers, spirit guides. They have shown me a lot of how to work with shadow. And I'm a very advanced auric healer. So for 25 years I've been looking into the electromagnetic wave patterns in human auras. 25 years. And a lot of that is looking at how shadow is touching and controlling the electromagnetic patterns and waveforms in someone's aura. And what I've learned is that shadow absolutely, definitely changes the blueprint of our consciousness. So shadow, a little bit like a rogue software or a viral software, it will change the pattern of the energy below your thoughts. And so your thoughts will change if there is shadow lodged in your auric field. I talk about this a lot in my teaching. So I talk about inviting people to use tools to see what shadow is in their auric field and to partner with spirit guides, spirit helpers, to switch that shadow off, to transmute it, to heal it. Because that shadow is training your thoughts. It is changing your thoughts. It is directing your thoughts into a lower layer, lower level of thinking, into a pattern of thinking connected with negativity. It's actually kind of tragic that people aren't aware that there is shadow energy in the auric field which is causing them to feel doubt, causing them to feel fear, causing them to feel anxiousness. And that's why I'm on a mission to help people realize that it's just shadow energy and that their spirit guides and spirit helpers can transmute that shadow energy quite quickly. And your thinking patterns and your feeling patterns can change quite quickly. Right now is not the moment to do the training on that, but I'm letting you know, and you've heard it right here. Thank you so much. Much love. Alicia Power. Thank you.